Greetings, man. Okay. How much fuel do we have? .6%. This is not boding well for... Actually, we're gonna... where is the moon relative to where we are looking? There's Kerbin. Is it back there where the sun is? It is. It's right back there where the sun is. We need to burn away from the sun with everything that we have. So, our... And I think that's all we have. Yep, that's what happens. Is this gonna fling you out into space? Or you're just gonna get picked up by Kerbin again? Wait, how close does that go? Watts says today is the hottest day of the year over here. Well, that's interesting to know. How hot is it there? Reddit. Google. I actually find it funny that if I really want to, I can probably get him safe. I might be able to expand an orbit that intercepts with him. 82 Fahrenheit. What? It was over 82 today. In fact, I think it's over 82 here right now. Let's see. And it is not the hottest day of the year. Yeah, it's raining right now, so it's 75, but... Like, tomorrow... It's gonna be a very muggy 96. In fact, it doesn't look like we're gonna dip under 95 degrees until August 4th. So yeah, I think today here it was over 100. Yes, it was 102. Hey. No, it was 98. Never mind, I just looked at the wrong week. You Europeans and your lack of weather. Anyway, we've done something interesting. Yes, Kerbin has actually Kerbin had a ice cap to begin with, if I remember right. It had one in 1.5. But anyway, pretty interesting flight. Launched a bunch of nose cones into orbit, which actually they didn't really on orbit. Managed to do a couple orbits around the moon. Had all of the Kerbins jump out. One crashed into the moon. One managed to get into a stable orbit around Kerbin, and the other managed to get into a stable orbit around the moon. A very strange mission, and not entirely what I intended. Not very happy with this rocket, though. spite of its ability to make it to the mun. I never updated my dashboard. I need a witty title. Just in all you guys complain about the rain and how cold it is. No, you never complain about how cold it is. You complain about how hot it is. You can always put clothes on, you can always, you know, burn furniture, but ooh. Drag that back down so it's not in the way. There we go. I am now happier. Okay, this managed to do some decent stuff with nose cones. Let's see about increasing our nose cone bounty here. We still want the advanced sass module, so we don't lose out on the ability to be sassy. But we do need to keep our decouplers decoupled. Nose cones. Going to put a parachute on this. Just sort of stick it somewhere. Not on the hatch though. There you go, guys, right there. Actually, you know, we're gonna put a bunch of tiny parachutes on there. Yeah. Enough. These are retractable, right? Okay, we're gonna need our giant decoupler. Fuel tank, fuel tank. We're gonna need epic burn engine. Epic burn engine. And then we're going to want to raise this up. We're going to need detachable doohickeys. Come on. We're gonna need more epic burn engines. And we're going to need fuel. Which feeds from you to you. And that should keep that topped off until we're ready to separate. And experience has taught us that we need to brace not only that, but also you to that. That should prevent wobble. And we're going to want our initial boost. Oh yeah, we also need some sort of control mechanism. And as we have decided, this one don't need no stinking RCS. Actually, it probably does, but we don't care. Where is that detaching doohickey? Okay, we want to make sure that all of the rockets fire at the beginning. Well, except for the one that's way up there. We don't. What's up with that? We got you. Yes. You're in the initial stage. Then we eventually get rid of you guys. Correct. Good. And then this decouples, that decouples. Alright, let's see how well this gets to orbit. Ooh, it's nighttime. It's not tipping over either. That's good. Really wish I could make something warm in my... I guess I could make a bowl of rice or something. Oh yeah, sass is good. The rocket is not staying perfectly straight. Minimizing this wobble may be useful. Disengaging Sass. Doing this without RCS. Like a boss. Like a boss. I do not want to burn at a 45-degree angle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Turn all the way around. Dang it. I really should have used those RCS model thingies. Well, we'll try to go the other way then. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Yes, that's where I want to be. That's where I want to be. Come on. Stop pushing me the other way, damn it. Let's just get this thing turning around and we'll just balls to wall it and make it somewhere close. This may be close enough. We can spin just a little bit more. Come on. Good enough for government work. Push it. Don't care, just go. Entirely not what I wanted. I'm basically facing the wrong way. And about to be out of fuel. But we'll burn off all that fuel, detach, and then do what we can. Crap, I'm about to hit the atmosphere. Okay, good, that fuel's all gone. Get the fuck off. Reactivate that. Now we gotta tilt your motherfucker up. Come on, whoa, 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 I have a lot of control over this part. Stop that, stop that. Good enough, good enough, good enough. Nope, not gonna make it. So those RCS modules really help because I could not get positioned right. Fine, don't do anything useful. Tip the fucking nose up, Jesus Christ. Tip the fucking nose up, tip the nose, fine. We can't get it up using thrust. Nope, I have no aerodynamic capacity. See if this improves it at all. Does not. Ooh, almost got somewhere useful. Okay. Seth wants to put it in the wrong fucking spot. Tip that piece of shit up. Did I put one of those under there? Maybe these drag chutes will help. Because if I can get this to tip the nose up, then I can use thrust to decrease our speed. This is scientifically not science. Okay, the parachutes have deployed. I think we're slow enough. Let's just let that stuff descend. Well, not only would the parachute lines be tangled, the rocket wouldn't have behaved the way it did. Alright, Jeb. Where the heck am I? It's too far to swim from. I think I actually want to mess with some planes right now. Something small-ish, but I want to pack a lot of fuel in it. So I think I'm going to do a biplane design. A bunch of fuel modules. So let me get this wing decked out first. Okay, so we need fuel to work as follows. Since we're probably just gonna have one engine on this thing. Where are the fuel canister thingies? There they are. We're going to need you to feed to you. And then we're gonna have you feed to you. Which we may actually want to do afterward. We'll do that part afterward. Make sure we get a proper amount of lift. And we'll put a delta wing on there to get epic lift. And then we are going to do control surfaces. Yes, good. Alright, so now we need those fuel modules. That is probably sufficient for support. As for a tail, let's make sure it's far enough back. Control surfaces. Should give us the control we need. I may just want to put the engine on the back and see what happens. Basic jet. Light 8 gear. Let us find out. And yes, I did see the Kerbals at War video. That was very well done. Oh yeah, and the stock stuff in this game is not yet implemented. So everything says 999. Let's give it daytime here. And then I just completely overshot daytime. Whoa. Okay. Why is it I can never keep it at a useful spot? Okay. This is good. Good time to start. Let's see if we can get this thing airborne. We have proper controls. Go. No. Let's see if this engine is enough to get us airborne. Because I really want to try to make that long-ass flight. off the runway. We're not getting enough speed. I don't want to put more jets on it because I want it to go far. More jets equals more fuel used. God damn it. I guess we can do this. Should keep it more stable. And yeah, if there was sort of either both a competitive, cooperative, sandbox multiplayer for Kerbal would be awesome. Because you could like build planes and shoot each other down. Intercontinental ballistic something or others. And why is this plane drifting so far to the left? Roll, everything seems fine. Meters per second. Don't run off that runway. $70. Alright, let's make the tail more stable. This thing's starting to get heavy. Do not want heavy. Too heavy. I have no control over the runway. Just what tries to fly on it. We're going to angle over this way to counteract the drift, which makes no sense because the plane is entirely symmetrical. Actually, now it's not having that drift, and I sort of messed it up by trying to do so. Come on. 69, 70. Let's try that again. I don't want to give it more power. I want to get this with the minimum amount of power so that I can fly far. As I mentioned to you already. In fact, just don't suggest anything about this kind of stuff, because it's not what I want to hear right now. Makes me angry. And god damn it, we're not the fucking runway. You're completely fucking symmetrical. Why do you drift one way or another when nothing's been fucking... Come on, plane. Now, for the love of God, don't drift. Fucking drifting. I really wish I had an analog. The problem isn't caps lock. It's the fact that I don't have an actual rudder control here. Because it actually doesn't matter, because I am using a joystick. As you can see, even without caps lock, this has no bearing on how subtle I do this, but when it comes to rudder control, I only have hard over. Jesus fucking... The plane physics on this are so fucking derpy. Come on. Don't be a fucking derp. You're perfectly lined up. There's no reason for you to always drift this way. Pull back. '72. You are perfectly straight on, so there's no reason for you always to drift to the fucking left. You should drift randomly to the right or left if you have any sort of issue. Alright, so we need to reduce weight. Jet placement's okay. I mean, if it's not taking off at 70, there's no amount of weight difference that's gonna make a difference there. I may want to try... I don't want to put a booster rocket on this. Because I really just need to get it to go fast enough to get the lift going. You know what I mean? Needs more lift. And why do you always put those things in the weirdest place? Auto-deciding thingy. Okay. Now, game, please start the simulation. That's where can I put you that you won't do that? And I hate having to grab onto these things. Come on. Come on. Hopefully this won't burn anything off. And Skulker 21, you've already been significantly demanding about criticizing what I'm doing here, and I don't like that. So try to just talk less, because if not, I'm already frustrated with the fact that it won't let me do the shit I want to do. God damn it, stop fucking drifting. There's no reason for you to drift to the right. It's always the left. Because you're not being helpful. I've made planes that work plenty fine before. And always understand that tone is not something that ever really traverses the internet well. Especially with this game, because, you know, you're doing something, then someone says, you're fucking up, is basically how it always comes across. And I never want to hear that. Because it's a learning process. It's like watching someone bake a cake. I mean, a cake is a disaster when you get to it in the middle stage, when it's, you know, just a bunch of flour and butter all over the place. You're like, what is this? This is totally a disaster of a cake. And then if you give it time, after all of the stuff is worked through, it's a beautiful, lovely cake. So don't... I'm gonna need to bolt those together, aren't I? So don't talk about the failures. Because they're not failures, they're adventures in better science. Though I am already getting too annoyed at this game. I want to get a one-engine thing with a lot of fuel airborne, god damn it! I don't think I'd want a doorstop made of eggs and butter. I may just need to load the 2-engine version. It's not gonna go as far. What is that? Is that 18? I think it's 18. It's either 18 or 16. No, that's definitely not the right one. Okay, this one has a lot of fuel in it. It definitely gets airborne. More fuel. I haven't actually tested the range of this one yet. Okay. on, simulation start. Start the simulation. And yes, you are allowed to have things decoupled to reduce weight on anything. But in the case of the previous plane, no fuel modules were exhausted. Yeah, jets don't work well in space, and by well, the answer is not at all past a certain point. We're actually gonna try to head south. This really needs a cockpit view. Spent the whole time staring at the nav ball. So I'm actually heading down a little. Just a smidge there. Rotate this around. Wave by to Kerbal Space Command. Whatever it's called. And head south. At a very low rate of speed. What, you don't mod Kerbal? But yeah, I think you just put it in the parts directory for the most part. There we go. And this one always drifts. Let's see how efficient my engines are here. 94%. This is going to take a while. Xanadu 777 says, "Hey, do hello. Playing some Kerbal Space Program. Getting frustrated at it." Frostbox says, "I think I saw on the forums once a cannon that fires a command module." Because there have been, there actually have been plans for space cannons. By that I mean things that sort of fire satellites into orbit. And they work. It's just that you need to sort of develop things that can withstand that kind of force, because you're essentially launching it out of a giant gun. Can you prioritize fuel tanks? Sort of. You can individually turn off the flow of fuel tanks. You can also guarantee that certain ones will be drained first based on how you set up the flow. Like, for example, because you can see these little arrows down here that are pointing here, this tank here will be drained after these tanks are empty. In fact, in theory, this should be the last tank to have fuel in it. Oops, I'm getting off my course. But yeah, if I want to stop a fuel tank from draining, I can just go disable flow, and it will cease to drain. If I need to. Which in this case I don't. A good advantage for that is, or a good thing to do with that is if you have a rocket where you can set the bottom part of its one of the inner or secondary stages pointing down, you can actually use that rocket to get more thrust at the beginning, but still have the fuel tanks that it's attached to tapped off if you have some of the outer fuel tanks feed into it. That way you can have a secondary stage have all of its fuel. I should do that on the nose cone dispensing rocket I did a little bit ago. Yeah, it's not exactly smart. It's what they do in real life. Hey, you have to remember that rocket science is really just high-speed plumbing. Starting to get a little high. Let's level out here. See how far we are. Gonna try to head south around. The Arctic. Ugh. That's what happens when you take your eye off of it. So Mario would be good at rocket science if he's able to do it fast enough. Yes, pipes equals rocket science. That's pretty much what it is. You just have pipes feeding 2 or 3, or in some very rare cases 4 fuels together, mixing them, and lighting them on fire. That's rocket science. The magic is getting them there quickly, and in a way that burns efficiently and cleanly. Because you want a, you know, efficient one-to-one conversion of, or meeting of the fuel and its oxidizer. So if you have any left over of one or the other, that means it could have been stuff that wasn't. My brain is not working right now at all. Where am I flying to? South-ish. out over the ocean. Yeah, just my trim actually. Is it that one? I really just want to see the range on this plane. Experience. It has a lot of lift and a fair number of fuel tanks, and it only has 2 engines. And they are reasonably efficient basic jet engines. Yeah, fly north for the summer to escape the birds. Birds are evil. And let me also adjust this trim up a bit. Let's see if that's good enough. That is not good enough. Is it possible to fly into a bird? As far as I know, there's only Kerbin wildlife. The only Kerbin wildlife is Kerbals themselves. And actually, bird strikes happen all the time in real life. A good chunk of the time, birds just get eaten and destroyed by the engine without too much damage to it. But sometimes there's damage. Depends on the kind of bird, actually. Really small ones, obviously, are not that big of a deal. Wasn't the Hudson River landing caused by birds? I actually don't know. I remember the Hudson River landing, but I forget the cause. Let's adjust the trim that way. Up. Somewhere there-ish. Flying south for the winter, for the summer. I think we might have enough. My guess is we actually have enough fuel to sort of just cross the area. Am I still descending slowly? It's catching up. The force says physics major. LOL. I nerd out on Kerbal. The physics in Kerbal are not exact, and I think that taking the approach that would normally work in normal physics is not necessarily the most entertaining course. Like, this plane here is entirely ridiculous. Let me look around a little bit here. I mean, this is not something that really makes much sense, but the flight physics in Kerbal are interesting, where it's I don't know, things are just off. So you like the space exploration part more. Yeah, I was doing some of that earlier. I basically free-handed a lunar orbit, and then I had the Kerbins jump out. I got one of them into orbit, I crashed one of them into the moon, and I got the other into a stable orbit around Kerbin. All like on a whim. There's no way a space program would ever do that. It's like, yeah, we'll just keep going. Let's see, someone who says that would actually fly according to the physics I know. Not with the materials it's made out of, and not with jet engines. But triplanes have existed Um, the Germans had a very capable triplane in World War One towards the end of it. One of the weirdest things in the flight mechanics, though, I find is there are certain things that the stressors that it can take are much higher in most areas than they'd be able to take. Like when you try to move around and the plane just jerks around. Normally, that would rip pieces off of a plane, but simply bumping on the runway causes everything to fall apart. It's those things combined are extremely odd to me. I read up on a plane that was a version of that German plane, 3 wings in the front, then 2 behind the pilot, another smaller one in back. Yes, the more wing surface you have, the more lift you have. And a lot of planes or most of the planes from that era, hold on, let me zoom in here. Modern planes all have these little flaps right here, which are glowing sort of a greenish color. For control surfaces, and they work reasonably well, but the original planes, the Wright brothers model or original plane, and most of the planes used in World War I actually twist various rods in the cloth and balsa wood framework, whatever lightweight materials they're using, to sort of change the shape of the wing so that the pattern of lift adjusts to that, so they sort of are significantly more maneuverable than modern planes, but at the expense of being made out of the kind of stuff artists paint pictures on. Fabric and weak metal struts or wood struts. Which is not able to handle the kind of speeds that I'm pulling right now without significant damage. Because has there ever been a an all metal biplane or triplane? Because most of the cloth planes seem to have you know, as soon as the speed started to exceed like 150 miles an hour, they just don't work anymore. Stunt biplanes are metal? You'd have to link me a modern stunt biplane, because I'd have to look at it. Let's see. And then I need a cough. I'm not enjoying this song right now. Where is... There we go. Something happy. Let's see. Teague is saying, are you going to find land and put this plane on it, or splash in about 10 minutes? 10 minutes. We're not even 40% through our fuel. It'll be a little bit longer than 10 minutes. My hope is to, since we are heading this path here, intercept the Kerbin Arctic, or Antarctic. Starting to get a little up there again. Oops, I'm gonna decrease our trim a bit and burn off some of this, which will also give us some speed. Whoa, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on. I really need some analog rudder pedals. Maybe a second joystick. Instead of some sort of twin stick thing, because that would work really well for the jetpack stuff, because you really want to have not only roll, pitch, and yaw, you also want to have up, down, left, and right. Metal biplane from the 30s. Wow, that is scary looking. It's huge, actually, for something from the 30s. It looks like the reason it is a biplane is because of those engines being very weak. It needs that much lift to get off the ground. I need to rewatch Nausicaa. It's been, okay, it's only been like 2 months, but I still need to rewatch it. I have it on Blu-ray. I love that movie. It's my favorite, Miyazaki film. Though actually I picked up Arrietty now that it came out again. Or came out. I saw it in theaters, but it would be nice to watch it again. Oops, drifting. Alright, we are about to exhaust our 6 rear fuel tanks, which will put us at 40% fuel. Or 40% use, so 60% fuel. And I think Saucepot may have Sauce-spotted Troglet. Now that is the triplane. Oops, pay attention to your game. Let's keep on our southerly course, and we're starting to get up high again. Let's burn off some altitude. Up. And luck. We should be fine. Let's take a peek at where we are on the map. So just our trim downward a smidge. There we go, it's barely moving. Wish that's a little faster. Yeah, a lot of the early planes have a lot of wing surface area, especially because of their the weak, heavy engines that are driving them. Very poor thrust to weight ratio, or whatever you want to call it. Oops, I'm getting off course. Turina? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Anyway, he says, unsurprisingly, putting lots of wings on a boat doesn't make it a plane. No, but putting landing skis on a plane does make it a flying boat. This is what they're called. Oops, pay attention, pay attention. Stop reading Wikipedia. Oh, 3,000 feet. Or meters. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. My plane is getting faster now that it's getting lighter due to the bit of fuel exhaustion. Oops, not paying attention. Oh no, my efficiency's dropping. Yeah, I'm just sort of seeing how far this plane gets with its fuel sources. Or fuel stores, so it's only got 2 engines, fair amount of fuel, a lot of lift. Oh, didn't even see my 8-bit Kerbal pixel art that I used on my the last 2 Kerbal Space Program stream highlights. They made me giggle making those. Just by the way, Kerbin Space Tank is mostly made of TNT. Yeah, it tends to explode in gloriously wonderful ways. Still heading up. Burn off some of this. Especially the landing legs, yes. Let's try to keep this at 20 degrees down angle. Until we hit maybe 2200. This bottoms out. Reasonably effective. Geek Brigade says, oh, just looked at your artwork. They are funky. Yeah. Spent a little bit of time working on that. It's really hard to translate their sort of globe-shaped spacesuits. Let's lower our trim again here. Where are we? We are not as far as I'd hoped. Actually, the thermite chemical reaction can be stopped once it's started. You simply need to disperse as many thermite molecules away from other thermite molecules as possible. So technically, a large enough explosion would extinguish the ability of thermite to continue oxidizing. Alternatively, there may be some kind of material that can be added to the mix that interferes with the process. I just realized I'm not in my, I'm not in the whatever room. There we go. Do your little green guys ever, like, explode from too much G-forces? Kerbals are extremely resilient people. I don't believe G-forces will hurt them. However, they will die when they hit certain surfaces very, very briskly and abruptly. It's not the speed at which I'm moving that's a problem. It's the sudden stop. Basically, if I were to nose this thing down, the Kerbal would die when we hit the water. But until then, he'll be fine. Some of those things may be added in the future. I kind of hope they don't, actually. I kind of like the idea of... I've seen a couple videos of Kerbins doing, like, rolls on the moon or Minmus, where they just, like, keep bouncing on their head and their face and spinning all over the place. They also don't require air or food. And no, they can actually swim in water. If they are, you know, land in it effectively. Which may happen at this rate. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it to the Arctic. I may need to build a larger version of this. I'm thinking that to do a true trans-Kerbin plane ride, I may need something like 6 engines and a lot more fuel tanks, more like triple or quadruple what we have right here, which I think should be doable as far as getting it airborne. It would also probably be faster. Oh, the portrait will change based on their what they perceive as happening. Sometimes it'll be cool and awesome. Sometimes it'll be abject terror, and it really depends on the actual Kerbal. There's different ones have different behaviors. Sometimes they are like, yay! Sometimes they're like, yeah, see, look, now he's gay. Because we're not going up anymore, we're going down. And now he's all cool and boss-like. It's like, yeah, I got this. Speaking of which, 20 degrees down angle until we hit 2500, then just let up on the stick. There's one Kerbal who is fearless. Rest in peace, Jeb. Jebediah Kerman. And they all have the same last name, so they're obviously extremely inbred. 26. 25. Anyway, you can see our progress from Kerbal Space Command. We are 40% of the way there. And yeah, sometimes when they're spiraling to their death, some are really happy, some are really scared. Sometimes they're just scared to be strapped into a giant rocket. Do the ships in space ever reset? I can manually select them and end their flights. It is also highly likely that they may not persist properly through version updates, like the ones I had up in 0.15 no longer work and are no longer there. It's obvious that Kerbins are generations of inbreeding of the Hoovy. They have big mouths, very little inside them, made of stern, sturdy stuff. Hoovies. Trust boxes, there may also be a maximum of how many objects that it tracks in space. I don't think there's an actual limit, but there is a limit at which your machine will melt. And if you're not directly near something, the simulation isn't run as complex as it is when you're near it. Have I heard of the Tales of Magiel? It's a roguelike free indie game. I have not. It's like Spelunky and Cave Story. If it is, I need to see a link of this. Someone find this game and link it. Because I don't think I can spell Magial. It's a clever name, like Spelunky or Cave Story. Something that you can easily type. It's like, have you heard of this Cave Story? Instead of, have you heard of this, what's it called? Tales of something? Legend of something or other? Like, I keep forgetting the name Legend of Grimrock. I keep wanting to start calling it, you know, that dungeon crawler that came out that looks kind of pretty. there's no screenshots here, which makes me worry that it is a text-based thing, and I really can't do... my brain doesn't function in ASCII text. I actually played games like that when that was the only way to do it, and it was a disaster. And I am getting too high again. You need to put your screenshots forward. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Pay attention, pay attention. I like scrolling. But I do like they call it tome. From screenshots. It sounds like it's a game Crumbleton would play. Because when you said like Spelunky and Cave Story, I was imagining a 2D platformer, but this... Hold on, I actually gotta open one of these screenshots. This is top down though, right? I would love to play a cute platformer roguelike, because I think that the platformer is... It's glorious. I just like platformers, especially lately. I'm not almost out of fuel. That one's full, that one's full, and that one's full. It's just these modules are almost empty, then these ones here will be there. Twigget says, by the way, you can delete objects if you go to saves and edit the persistent.ffsfs file. Open up a notepad and rename all those you wish. I use it to fill my RCS tank when I'm about to land XD. Oh, you cheater. Cheater, 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 cheater. Whoops. Happy Hippo Hippo. Not sure what kind of link they were sending. I have yet to survive a landing, so it's failing cheater to you. You've yet to survive a landing on the Mun? Or on, because I've actually been able to land on the Mun. I don't think... Did I stream that? It was derpy, and it was barely... I did rip off my landing struts, but the command module survived. Happy says, sorry I confused the game with La Mulana. I do actually have the original version of La Mulana installed right now. I haven't picked up the new one. I'm really not sure if I want to. I need to decide whether I like its aesthetics more than the MSX PC stuff. No, there's a free version of La Mulana that's been out for, I want to say, almost 10 years now. Probably 2004-ish. But its graphics are modeled after like MSX PC or MSX computer games. Oh yeah, the new rockets make it way too easy to get to the Mun. I was actually kind of disappointed. I was like, wow, these super rockets are easy mode. I mean, I free-handed, as I said before, basically a lunar orbit. It's really that rocket that has a thrust value of 1200. That's a lot of power. Alright, we are now on our last 3 fuel devices. We have 20% of our original starting fuel left. And we are not going to make it to the Arctic. Actually, maybe we still have some glide time afterwards. But this plane does not glide very well. Which you'd think it would because it has a lot of lift. Let's see, first boxes, I don't like the new parts. They don't match well with older parts. Like the SAS is way too small. I need to put it on top of the command module, which looks silly. Yeah. They need to have like a squat SAS for the larger ones that is really thin, like a pancake. But I think the new, let's just call them the big parts, are just the start of what's going to be in there. I think they wanted to scale, now that Kerbals can walk outside, they wanted to scale up and scale down the ones that fit, so you can, it makes sense to send a large rocket for 3 or a small one for 1 Kerbal. You say, what is asking if I've ever watched Sig Limit? Yes, I have. I remember watching a, I think a 70-star Mario 64 race. I don't know if they do anything other than Mario 64, but I have, I think, caught them play a couple times. It's very entrancing to watch someone speedrun something like that. It's like watching someone play a piano piece where they want to get every single note the right, hit at the right time. This is sort of science. Mobius cat. Which implies that it's a cat that doesn't end in wow. I now am going to be down to something like 12% of my original starting fuel in a moment. And I'm getting too high up in the atmosphere. TPK says Siglemic used to do Zelda a long time ago back when he streamed to a different site. Do you mean Ocarina of Time or the original Legend of Zelda? Or just various Zelda? With Cosmo and Sun Giano. I don't know. I know who Cosmo is. I don't know who Sun Giano is, though. Yeah, Ocarina of Time is not my favorite Zelda. And it's gotten less... I like it less and less as each year goes on. The technical problems with the game start to bother me. It's from that 3D era where everything looks blocky, the grass is all cube-shaped, and that's okay. My main problem with it is actually that the frame rate is so low. And that's bothersome to me. I want my games to feel smooth. Which means I may... I want to try the 3DS version, but... we'll see. Don't have a 3DS, can't afford one. Can't stream it either. Which means I'd feel guilty playing it. It's to the point now where if I'm playing a game without streaming it, I feel kind of guilty. I'm like, well, I could share this with everybody. And then get angry at them when they tell me what to do. Which I really shouldn't do. That is a... I've been feeling pretty bad about stuff lately, and my temper is a lot shorter than it should be. Oh, I'm not gonna cam stream a DS game. No, there is a technical solution to the DS problem with a capture device that exists that is currently not available, but I do plan to picking one up when they are available. And did I lose a fuel canister somewhere? No, I didn't. Heavy space program is a reasonable success. We are running low on fuel though, and are gonna have to ditch over the ocean. I should break something to help with my temper. At this point, I would probably end up breaking a bone in my own body or something worse than that. I have been in an excruciatingly bad mood for the last couple of weeks. There's also a Game Gear mod that I want to do, so I can stream Game Gear games. I have a couple that I'd probably enjoy streaming. I have the Shining Force game. I also have Shining Force CD, so that's not entirely necessary, but a couple of the derpy Game Gear Sonic games are really obnoxious, but I think I could, play them on stream. I think I've only got like 8 or 9 Game Gear games. Let's see. Well, you were planning on building a super plane that like one. Well, actually, this plane is actually bigger than the last one I was working on. By quite a bit, actually. I just wanted to get it off the ground with one engine so that it could sip on that forever. The largest and most the plane that was the most surprising to get off the ground was actually the one that carries the extremely heavy. What do you call that? The giant space fuel barrel. Build a space invader. I don't know what you mean by that. When I think of Space Invader, I think of Space Invaders for the arcade. Oh, I actually have a 6-jet version of this plane, which is what was the space barrel carrier. Since we're actually getting close to ditching, I may end up showing that. Henry Watson says, Kirby, Grant, and I started a fan art conglomerate to break your monopoly. Interesting. Getting too high in altitude again. Engine efficiency is 87%. As far as number of jet engines, I think the most jet engined plane I've gotten airborne is probably close to 15 or 16 jet engines. Oh god, I'm too high, way too high. 80%. If I get below 5,000, I'm wasting fuel. You know what? I wonder if it's possible to make some kind of rocket boat in Kerbal Space Program. That'd be a fast way to get to Antarctica. And if it's floating but has power, then maybe it'd be safe. Maybe you launch it sort of like a plane, then you beach it in the water, and then you just go full bore on it. That way you don't have to spend too much time controlling it. Because this has been a lot of tough control time. And yeah, you can have it drop fuel tanks. I could have this one drop entire wings, actually. I did think about that. Having it so entire wings break off at certain points. Not the center wings, but you'd drop the bottom wings off, and then you'd flip over when you want to drop off the upper ones. We are out of fuel. Now this is where we see if we can beach this thing in the water. Our nose is not going up. This could be a problem. Let's keep our eye on the nav ball here and keep everything level. I do not think we are going to have this nose up in time. Our speed is decreasing though. Why is everyone so demanding? It's very, I mean, I don't, this is something that does bother me a lot. Camel 090999, where I don't think I've really seen them very much. They come in with 3 creeper phases and they say, make a rocket. I understand that you're excited, but the connotation and delivery of what you're intending don't necessarily traverse the internet, so what I simply hear is a demand. Make a rocket. And it's something that if you're a streamer, you hear that a lot. Maybe not just make a rocket, but you should play this or that. And over time, it gets really frustrating. So try to avoid things that sound like demands. And I'm going too fast. It's going to tear apart. Goodbye, Melnerd Kerman. We barely knew ye. I was hoping he'd at least live. Oh well. Spaceplane hangar. Please have some booze. I had booze earlier today, actually. But, I have to stick to the rule. No, no booze unless I'm happy. Let's see, is this the barrel one? No, this is a lot of lift. I did not want to launch this plane. I can't remember if this one ever made it airborne. Let's find out, actually. This is not gonna work. You're gonna blow up as soon as you get off the runway. Wow, you haven't blown up yet. There we go. Alright, let me find the flying barrel. And I really don't like the order of these things here. I keep hitting load when I want to do launch, and launch when I want to hit load. It's like the exact opposite of what my brain expects. Is 14 the flying barrel? No. 15? No. I think 16 was what we just flew. Maybe it's 11. There we go. This is the flying barrel. This is the one that this center fuel module here is extremely heavy, and the goal was to try and get this thing to actually get airborne. And this one does have 6 jet engines on it. But this center fuel module weighs so much that this thing barely gets airborne. Provided I don't run it off the runway like I'm doing now. Alright. We'll restart the flight. And hopefully this time not get it blown up. Let's get behind it. Come on, stop snapping around. There we go. Full throttle. No. Come on. Damn. I have gotten this airborne before.